Now it's time for the I Challenge You 5D's season finale. We're headed straight to the top of the Discord ladder, so enough pack opening. It's time to duel. Grab a synchro and jump on your duel runner because it's time to open packs, build decks with our pulls, and send our bots into all new forms of mechanized melee. We're hitting the road running this season with wild new blessings, even tougher challenges, and a ban list made to hit the gas on this format. So without further ado, let's rev it up. And welcome back, kings, queens, monarchs of every element, to I Challenge You 5Ds, the series where we open up packs, build decks out of our polls, and then send the Project Ignis Edo Pro bots to duel against each other for the prize of being, I don't know, the best bot in the world. We are currently at the end of the 5Ds era, which means we are dueling against every deck that my Discord has made for the 5Ds era, going from bottom to top on this ladder. And today, our first challenger is DrAIving Force. This is a deck by... I still don't have it open. I have the whole thing open. I don't have the... It is by... You'd think I'd be ready for this at this point. It is by the Doubl. This is a Doubl creation. This is a great deck. This deck is an Axel Synchro deck using the Infernoble Knights. Yeah, really, the Infernoble Knights in this era of Yu-Gi-Oh! To make two level 5s, a tuner and a non-tuner, to use a limit overdrive to go into some obscenely huge synchro monsters. I know very little about this deck, and so I've basically decided that the game plan for beating this deck is dealing with equip cards, which Infernoble Knights do a lot, and synchro monsters, which Infernoble Knights do a lot. That's about what I've got here. And to do that, we're bringing back a deck I haven't gotten to use much in this series, Psychics. This deck is called Michizuru AI. It's based on an old skeleton by Austin CK, updated for the post-Extreme Victory era. This is kind of boneless Grand Soil Psychics. We don't have Grand Soil, and therefore we can't use Grand Soil. We also don't have Ultimate Axon Kicker, which is the coolest boss monster that Psychics have access to, but we do have Beast and Barkion, two extremely good cards, and like 7 copies of Michizuru by way of Telepathic Power and Psycurse, two equal and opposite cards, which both destroy monsters that destroy Psychics by battle. Telepathic Power gives us healing, and Psycurse does burn damage. We also have the Emperor's Holiday, which crucially negates Ogier, a card that stops the monsters it's equipped to from being destroyed by card effect. Our collection cannot deal with monsters that can't be destroyed by card effect, and so here we have that. We also have Really Eternal Rest as a very funny out to monsters that are equipped with equip cards, and Stygian Dirge, a cheeky little floodgate. You wouldn't think that this card would make much of a difference, only reducing the levels of all your opponent's monsters by 1, but Stygian Dirge crucially keeps the Excel synchros from going off because they're the wrong levels under Stygian Dirge, and also blocks them from a lot of other synchros. Fortunately, we only have 1, so you won't probably have to see that much Floodgate action today. What we want to see today is Beast, Barkion, and Psychics being destroyed by battle, and I hope that's enough to get us over the edge. I had to ask chat about the Pokemon matchup, right? Because this is a Pokemon series, and therefore Pokemon logic prevails, wherein Psychic is super effective against fighting types. And we've got a lot of Psychics on our side, so I think it's just basic math that 100% of the vote from chat would say that our deck is super effective against Infernoble Knights, but only time will tell. Let the games begin. All right, starting off with a dub in the rock, paper, scissors. The duel begins. Psychics versus Warriors. They begin with Ogier. Ogier is one of the big problems for our deck. They're going to discard, I don't know what that card is. I don't know what that card is. I think that's Durandal. There's a level 1 in their hand now. That was the whole turn. That was their whole turn. Here comes TG Striker, Striker special summons, and we're going to trigger Warwolf. Then we're going to synchro off into Catastor before normal summoning a Serene Psychic Witch. Catastor will take out Ogier, and we've got 2 back row. That's a Catastor, a Witch, and 2 back row. Possibly the best. Oh, the Stygian Dirge. That's gotta feel bad. We'll draw for turn. We're going to normal summon Pandaborg. We'll attack in with Catastor. Excuse me, we'll attack in with Catastor. They're going to take the Catastor? I didn't know they could do that. And then we're going to attack in with Witch. I really have no idea what this deck does. There's the really Eternal Rest into the Ogier. Oh, this is brutality. Pandaborg is going to summon out Genetic Woman. We now have a Serene Psychic Witch and a Genetic Woman, a Mega Judgment. Not good. Ooh, they are going to destroy the Witch, which is good here because it will trigger banishing the Esper Girl. Esper Girl is about as good as it gets. No, whatever. We're going to normal summon her. We don't have a second level 6 synchro. I didn't put in a second level 6 synchro because Iron Chain was bad here. They're going to equip Ogier. They're going to equip and they're going to add the Blue Flame Swordsman for their deck, their hand. There's the second Ogier. They're going to send away a Turpin. They're going to summon the Turpin, and oh, this is disastrous for us. Genetic Woman biting us in the butt. I never thought that Genetic Woman's effect was ever going to come up. We're going to set a back row, and we're going to pass the turn. There's the Emperor's Holiday. Would have loved to have seen it last turn. I didn't realize the Emperor's Holiday makes the monster go to the graveyard, but it is all too late. They're going to attack in for game. Absolutely devastated by our own cards this time round. All right, game 2. All right, starting off with the normal summon of Serene Psychic Witch and the set of 3 back row. As long as they don't get an Ogier going, we're in decent shape. There's the Rite of Aramis here. There's the Ogier. I really should open my mouth here. Fortunately, we did deal with the Renowned. That's the one that, or is that, yeah, it is Renowned. And we're going to banish the Pandaborg off of Serene Psychic Witch. Pandaborg is great. It'll deal with Ogier. There's the Psychic Snail. We're going to we're going to let the Pandaborg attack twice. Why wouldn't we let the Pandaborg attack twice? What could that possibly accomplish? I had no idea that Rekindling was a possible card for this deck. They're going to add Ogier. Ogier's effect is going to mill a card. They're going to go Break Heart, which gets Hulk, which gets that card. We're going into the level 5. Surely we have a way of dealing with some of the monsters on the board. There's Ogier. Ogier is such a disaster for us. Our Mega Judgment fortunately does out the Ogier, which means that if they attack over our monster and we have something like a Psy Curse in the back row, we are in A-OK shape. They're going to activate Joyeuse, and they're going to special summon. No, they're going to add the other level 1. Sure, I definitely know what these cards do. They're going to use the level 1 to do things. I'm sure Pandaborg will activate, summoning Psychic Snail. And that'll be that. We do actually have a strong board into theirs right now. Hulk is going to activate, summoning out the TG Wonder Magician. TG Wonder Magician is going to add... Oh, that's no bueno. Fortunately, I think as long as they attack with their biggest monster first, we can deal with this big synchro. They're going to equip another Ogier. They do have an Adventurer token, so they can attack with the big guy, and that might just be the game. Fortunately, Telepathic Power is going to give us a fuck ton of life points back. That's actually going to keep us in the game right now, but Ogier is such a massive problem for us. We're going to have to set a monster and pass. I don't know what we have that actually deals with how huge these boards are. We're going to have to go back to the drawing board on this, folks. Wow, we got devastated. That was not good. In an elimination match, a warrior elimination match, perhaps I should bring some warriors. We're falling back on an old friend, our good friend, Sam. This is a deck that I fall back on a lot when it comes to shaky matchups for a couple of reasons. Number 1, Xian. Xian is an incredible card against a bunch of different things, and this deck is no exception. Being able to negate a spell trap every turn is really, really powerful. The other reason is because they are big monsters. They're big monsters that can stand alone thanks to 6-strike dual wield, and they're big monsters that can stand together thanks to the A-Forces and Solidarity and Xian's Castle of Mist. The problem when it comes to this deck that we're up against today is that they can put a lot of big guys guys on the board. We can sometimes stop some of the biggest guys, but it's harder for us to stop them from just getting guys. And this deck is unmatched at just getting guys out. Unfortunately, this does mean we can't run warrior elimination, but I think ultimately that's probably fine. Like, having a dark hole in our deck that sometimes just loses to their equip card isn't that big a deal, especially when their lower attack monsters, when they go wide, aren't going to be bigger than the Six Samurai we'll be putting on the board thanks to Xian's Castle of Mist. I have faith in this deck. I don't think this deck has ever let us down. But this might be the day. Will our Japanese warriors be able to take out the French? It's time to find out. Well, I suppose I shouldn't have expected anybody to vote for the French in this battle, but it looks like the Japanese have taken the poll. They are the favorites. Samurai are a charismatic bunch, after all. The fables are full of samurai that have stood up against much greater forces than themselves, staying fast in the face of potential death. We face potential death here, and borgarbot will stand resolute. Let the games begin. All right, that is a L in the rock, paper, scissors. We got a dub last time, so I guess we're starting off all right. There's the Rite of Aramasir. They're going to get the 2 adventurer cards. They're going to get their Joyeuse, and they're going to get 3 big monsters on the board. Now, 3 big monsters may not be much in the face of a bunch of big monsters. We're going to go double the A forces. Ooh, that is not a good start. Oh, wow, that's a bad start. The A forces is a strong card, don't get me wrong, but with only 1 TG striker on the board to stand for us and 4 2,000 or bigger monsters on the board, we may be in a little bit of trouble. Can we use a Black Horn of Heaven here? We're going to go to battle phase. They're not even going to get the opportunity to synchro summon. They're just going to attack in for game. Immediately we got cooked. Oh. Is that the first OTK we've suffered on I Challenge You? Wow, that was bad. Let's go game 2. All right, starting off, borgarbot does get to go first. No, they're going to get to go first again. There's the Rite of Aramasir, and there's the Infernoble field. They're going to pay 12. They're going to get an Infernoble arms to their hand. There's the Joyeuse. They're going to equip it to the adventure token. There's Hulkifibrax. They're going to summon out the... Ooh, that defense position guy is a little bit spooky to me. If we get Xian on the board, it could steal the Xian, and we do not like to see that. We're going to summon out Onishi. Onishi is a little bit of trouble here because it's going to get stolen. Ew, we don't like to see that. We're just facing down an Elder against their guy. This is so bad for us. We are getting so dumpstered in this matchup. What is going on? Oh, wow. Oh, this is not good. Oh, this might be the end of the road for borgarbot unless we can get something good going. Terraforming is a great start. Xian's Castle of Mist is a very strong card for us. We're going to activate it, summon the TG Striker. They're going to a Mega Judgment. This isn't ideal, but we have a Zanji. Zanji plus 6 style dual wield. Oh. No, we're just boned. We are just giga boned. We could not be more boned. How are we supposed to beat this one, folks? How are we supposed to... How is this the end this quickly? How have we gotten so stomped on the ladder? Is it because I had too much faith in our friend Sam? Is that what it is? Is my faith... Oh, no. No, this is bad. This is so bad. Oh, no. Oh, God, we're getting stomped. We're getting so destroyed. No. That's it. That's the ladder climb. We've lost twice in a row. This is the first time we've been cut off. So we had the possibility to end 5Ds with my getting my butt kicked over and over and over again, trying to beat the Driving Force deck. And if you want to see that, you can over on my Patreon. Let me tell you, we tried. But I think I want to try something a little different. There's a challenge that we have been working our way up to for a while. The ultimate boss of I Challenge You. For those of you who do not remember from the DM and GX eras, there is one deck that above all, borgarbot cannot beat. And that is Witchcrafter. The Edo Pro AI has a Witchcrafter deck that it is stunningly good at using and that borgarbot is stunningly bad at beating. But we have a lot more cards than we did last time. And if I remove the ban list, we have a lot more good cards than last time. Is there a possibility that we can finally, once and for all, beat the Witchcrafter menace? And Doubl and Austin CK both think that maybe there's a chance. We're going to start with Austin CK's deck. Austin CK submitted something hilarious for contention for the Witchcrafters. This is Stop Hitting Yourself Burn. This uses chain energy to counter the fact that the Witchcrafter deck plays 1,000,000 cards per turn, and also Skull Invitation and Dark Room of Nightmare to mess with the fact that they just keep sending cards to the graveyard. It is possible to deal nearly 5,000 points of damage in one hit if they use that Grass Looks Greener under Skull Invitation. This card is spectacularly funny. In addition to that, a couple of other pieces of comedy: Cyber Prima to take out all their continuous spell cards, Spell Canceller to negate all their spell cards, and Spell Reactor RE, which destroys your opponent's spell cards the first time they activate it in a turn and deal 800. Just amazing stuff. And because we have no ban list, we also are allowed 2,000 Eyes Restrict, which is just a good card. I like this deck a lot. It's got gumption, and I'm ready to see what it can do against the deck most catered to beating borgarbot. I asked chat, will Austin CK's brew beat the Witch's brew? And 99% of the vote went toward Austin CK is the greatest chef of our time, but that's partially because both Austin and Doubl hella rigged the vote. They have many channel points among them. If you look at the numbers of the votes, you've got 3 on one side and 2 in the other, but I appreciate the solid vote of confidence from the folks who made these decks in the first place, and I cannot say no to faith in your work like that, faith in your cards, faith in borgarbot to beat the Witchcrafters. Let the games begin. Starting off with an L in the rock, paper, scissors. What does this mean? What does it mean for us? What really matters here is who goes first. Ooh, there's the grass. They got to go first here and got the grass. They're going to add the Magician's right arm, hand, whatever. They're going to go into the Haine, which is the card that cooks us every single time. It seems we have probably lost the match. There's the Magician's right hand and 2 back row face down. There is the By Street, which is their protection, and they're going to add many Witchcrafter spells back to their hand during the end phase. There's Masterpiece. Masterpiece is going to add yet another Witchcrafter spell to their hand. What can the burn deck do? We're going to Change of Heart. That's a pretty decent start. It's going to get negated by the Magician's right hand, but that's perfectly fine. We're going to nail it with the Nope. We're going to get hit by the Haine. They really do know what they're doing here. Haine is going to not deal with the set 4 pass. Let's see what we can do with this. We're going to start with the Secret Barrel. That's going to do a huge amount of damage. Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. No, they're going to chain. Oh, we're going to chain the second Shadow Mirror. Okay, that is definitely a start. That does deal with the Haine nicely, although 2,200 damage is not an inspiring amount. There's a second Secret Barrel that does a further 2,400, but we are out of cards in hand. That's not great when we have a negate, a double negate on field, 1 for spells, 1 for traps, and we do need to see at least 1 spell per turn for this to work. I think this might be the end of the game. We'll have to see. There may be some other types of outs. Let's see what we draw. Eventually, after they add 1,000,000 cards to their hand. Is this really do be happening? Oh, they had to discard for hand size, mercifully. The Heine is going to get negated by the Shadow Mirror. What are we going to get? There's Amazon Swordswoman. Amazon Swordswoman. What's it going? Come on. 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 How many points of damage? 3,500 per game. Let's go. Amazon Swordswoman with the Destiny draw off the top. That was incredible. Unbelievable. Literally the last card in our deck that didn't lose us the game, and we got it. That was true beauty at work. Let's see if borgarbot can craft such art in game 2. All right, starting off, going second again. We are incapable of going first. There's the Reasoning. Reasoning is going to be pretty good here. It's going to get the Pittore off the top. There's the Heine. Heine is going to be a problem next turn. They're going to add a bunch of things to their hand. There's Buy Street. That's perfectly fine. Buy Street doesn't actually do anything for them against this deck. They didn't get one of the hands. That's great news. There's Chain Energy. Chain Energy is going to get hit by the Heine. If we drew Shadow Mirror or a Snatch Steal off the top, that's pretty solid as well. We're going to deal a nice 2,900 points of damage, but we don't have a trap card, crucially. They're going to get their 1,000 back. They're going to go for Holiday. Holiday summon their own Heine. Will the Heine read the situation correctly? They're going to banish Schmeta. They're going to mill a card. They're going to attack into our Heine and attack into the Amazon Swordswoman. Now, there is a possibility for what happens next. I just realized that the fact that we did not set a single card means that that is a hand that it's entirely made up of monsters. That's not good. That is, I would even venture, probably bad. They're going to get their Holiday. They're going to add Schmeta or Pittore to hand. They're going to add another card. Their Schmeta is going to mill a card. They're going to go to battle phase. It's the Amazon Swordswoman. They take no damage because the Swordswoman was face down. They're going to get all their monsters back or their spells back. We're going to draw for turn. It's our monsters that we have too many of. They're going to add another card from their hand. They're going to grab Creation. And let's see what we can do. We're going to Dark Room of Nightmare. It's going to immediately get Heine. And that's the end of the turn. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Now, to be fair, if we draw a Secret Barrel, we could be in okay shape, especially because they have Madame Vare on the board. What we need is for Madame Vare to be on the board for us to normal summon our second Swordmaster. And then we need to draw into a Secret Barrel. That's the combination of things that gets us there. Oh, they have the left hand. Well, there's a Chain Energy that's going to get Heine. What are we going to do? We're going to pass. It's all tribute summons in hand. It's not just a handful of monsters. It's a handful of unsummonable monsters. They're going to extrav off the top, and that is all she wrote. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump to lethal. They're going to attack with Madame Vare. They're going to attack with Heine. We get one more turn, but with a handful of tribute summons, we are in trouble. This is the end of the game. Unless, I mean, they're going to discard all those cards. So even a Secret Barrel wouldn't help. Another tribute summonable must have been the final card in hand. Oh, God. You hate to see it. Sometimes you get exactly what you need off the top. Sometimes you get exclusively tribute summons. And all of that comes to a culmination in Game 3. Can we go first? Can we open the Skull Invitation? All right, starting off, we're going first with a Chain Energy. Chain Energy is a phenomenal thing for us to start with, especially with Amazon Swordswoman. The damage doesn't really matter for us because what matters for us is getting the Shadow Imprisoning Mirror to prevent Heine. Zoma the Spirit is also phenomenal because Zoma the Spirit does damage back to them. There's the grass look screener. Unfortunately, it's not going to deal that much damage to them because it's only one activation from hand, but they have a ton of things they can activate from hand. There's the Heine discarding to try and take out the Shadow Mirror, but the Shadow Mirror is going to block it. They're going to Schmeta from Grave, and they're going to attack into the swordswoman, dealing 900 to themselves. There's the chain energy for them to set, and they're going to activate Bystreet and Holiday to bring them back to the hand. Unfortunately, only one of those things was an activation or a set from hand. They are going to start discarding for Heine, which does reduce the amount of advantage that they get, but unfortunately, because they're Witchcrafter spells, they're just going to get back into hand anyway. We're going to deal 500 back to ourselves, summon the swordswoman. That's perfectly fine. That's not what we're worried about here. They're going to Heine, they're going to discard, it's going to get negated. They're going to summon out the genie, and if genie does nothing, well, then we're in okay shape. They're going to go creation for Schmeta. They are going to pay 500 again. There's the Schmeta. They're going to go into battle phase now. Now, that's not ideal because Zoma the Spirit will not get maximum damage out of this. But if we draw into something like a secret barrel, maybe we're in good shape here. They're going to banish off the Schmeta to send another card to the graveyard. They're going to activate the Bystreet onto the field. That's great. That's another piece of fodder for the secret barrel. What did we get? We got a tribute summonable. Oh, the tribute summonables are messing us up real bad. They're going to bounce back our entire field to our hand, but I think we have enough life points to survive the turn, and that's going to be crucial. Unfortunately, that means that Heine is going to get the opportunity to activate without a shadow imprisoning mirror hindering her in any way. Our hope here has to be that we draw into Secret Barrel. If we can draw into Secret Barrel, we are in good shape. If the draw is Secret Barrel, we win the game. There's the Instant Fusion. The Instant Fusion does get the Thousand Eyes Restrict, which is going to eat the Heine. That's pretty decent because the chain energy is not going to, but that also means that we only have 500 to deal. Please let that not be the Shadow Mirror. It's the Shadow Mirror! Because it's the Shadow Mirror, there was no chance for us to activate the Secret Barrel that we needed, and we are going to lose the game because of it, unless they pay themselves to death. Nope, they're just going to bounce back the chain energy, and that is the game. Oh, that feels bad. But it almost felt really good. Is there a way that that could work? Back in the tank with us. Well, we went back to the drawing board a little bit. We did a couple of tweaks to the deck, and I think we've improved it substantially. And if it's a substantial improvement over what we had the first time around, that might be good enough, right? Here are some of the changes that we made. We took out most of the tribute summons and we replaced 2 of them with the End of Anubis, a card that prevents the Witchcrafter cards from activating in the graveyard, one of their most powerful effects. The End of Anubis also is immune to Shadow Imprisoning Mirror because its effect does not activate. The same goes for Corridor of Agony, a card that negates the effects of monsters summoned from the deck, most of their boss monsters are, and stops them from attacking, which is great for burn. We also added copies of Dimension Wall to make them take extra damage, and Magical Thorn to also make them take extra damage for all those cards that they add from their hand to the graveyard that they then have to discard during the end phase. We have 3 copies of Deskwalla. We are much more likely to set this card than we were in the first few games. The only problem is if they get Madame Vera, Deskwalla does have a very high attack value, which is not great if they have a Madame Vera on the board. We're going to hope that we get the Deskwalla before they set that up, and if we don't, then, we're in a little bit of trouble. We also took out the Instant Fusion engine in favor of a copy of Brain Control and a copy of Puppet Plant to take away their Heine before it can cause problems, and a copy of Marshmallow, which is definitely small enough that we are likely to set it. I think this version of the deck looks pretty goddamn good if you ask me. So I asked chat if the second time would be the charm, and it looks like the majority of people are going with the previous duel's results and saying that charms have nothing in the face of hexes. But I don't know. I think the last match went pretty well for us. It's the best we've ever done against the Witchcrafters, and I think with the modified version of our deck, we're getting pretty close. Let the games begin. All right, starting off with a dub in the rock, paper, scissors. Will we have elected to go first? We were not the ones to do the electing here. They are going to discard their Magician's Right Hand, which is great for us and means they're not going to open with it. They're going to activate Bystreet. That's fine. We're never going to destroy one of their cards. There's Heine. Ooh, Heine to beat the Corridor of Agony is very strong for them. We could have started with the Brain Control before we Heine'd, but End of Anubis is extremely strong into their deck. If we opened End of Anubis, we're in great shape. That Secret Barrel Portal's going to do not very much damage, but an End of Anubis could do incredible amounts of damage. End of Anubis, very powerful. Wait, is this just game on board? It's not quite, but it is very, very close. They have 700 life points left. Any burn spell doesn't. Let's see what they draw off the top. There's Holiday. Holiday can get back. No, it can't because of the End of Anubis. Yo, did End of Anubis do it? Has End of Anubis broken the curse? Ooh, game 1 looking good. End of Anubis doing a real good solid for us. It really helped that they discarded the Magician's Right Hand at the beginning, let me tell you. I was a little worried about that brain con, but it all worked out in the end. Game 2? Let's see if we're going first. They're going first again. They have the Patori. They're going to discard for Shmeta. Shmeta's going to activate, discarding as well to summon a Jenny. Jenny's going to activate, discarding yet another card to get Heine. That's a lot of cards discarded, but in the end, I don't expect that's going to make that big of a difference. They're going to mill a card. Jenny's going to summon the Madame Vare. Now, Madame Vare is a little bit of a problem, but for the fact that they said is summon it in defense position. That does mean that Death Koala isn't going to try to get over it. We're going to chain energy. They're going to Heine that. That's perfectly fine by me because with their board, we are in good shape. We're going to puppet plant both of their monsters. We have no tribute summons to go with, but this is a fuck ton of damage. This could be pretty good for us. We're going to go to the end phase. We are going to need to have 2 Shadow Imprisoning Mirrors to beat this board. And we do not. That is unfortunate, but this could be a Dimension Wall. We're going to Dimension Wall. I don't think this deals double damage, unfortunately. We do need to draw into exactly our second Amazoness Swordswoman for this to work out for us. We're going to normal summon the Death Koala to get Madame Vare. Oh, the worst possible outcome for that situation has occurred, and now we basically cannot win the game. Barring a very strong Secret Barrel on the next turn. They're going to use Creation to add back a card. Now, a Death Koala would also help us here, but may also hinder us drastically. There goes the Heine, and that is the end of the game for us. They're going to add the Magician's Right Hand, and we are in a little bit of trouble. Maybe I shouldn't have put the Death Koala in there. Maybe we would have been better off with another defender under those circumstances. They're going to get Heine directly for game, and it comes down to game 3 once again. All right, are we going first for game 3? No, they get to activate Grass. They got to go first 3 games in a row. What awful luck. There's a Patori to summon Heine. They are going to end with 2. Oh, wait, I forgot they resolved Grass this turn. They're going to add the Magician's Right Hand. They're going to activate it. They're going to go to end phase, and they're going to get everything back from the graveyard. They've got 2 back row. Those back row could be anything, and it wouldn't really matter. What matters is the Magician's Right Hand and the copy of Heine that they have on the field. Let's see if we can get them to Magician's Right Hand, a spell card. No, there's the Amazoness Swordswoman. Amazoness Swordswoman is very good for this situation. We're going to go, oh, the Imperm column is going to fuck us up so bad. Magical Thorn, Heine is going to destroy everything is going wild right now, but Magical Thorn is on the board, which means that if we can survive the turn, and if they get enough cards in the graveyard into their hand, we are going to deal a little bit of burn damage this turn. They're going to pay 500. There's the Madame Vare. Madame Vare, again, very, very bad if we draw into Death Koala. Death Koala will kill us on that Madame Vare. I should have looked at the fact that Death Koala has 1100 attack points, but we're going to set a monster. That could be Marshmallow. They're going to discard for the Heine. There's Zoma the Spirit in Chain. This can deal a lot of damage potentially. Zoma the Spirit can get very big, and we're just going to deal 24 right over to them. That is a clean 2400 and the 1000 off of Marshmallow. Now, a Secret Barrel may be able to do it at this point if we draw into it. There are a couple of things that actually are very strong into this board, but for the fact that Madame Heine is going to be able to destroy the Marshmallow, we're going to chain energy and they are going to negate it. There's the Spell Canceller, which they are going to also destroy. Okay, well, that was fun while it lasted. They're going to Witchcrafter DrAIving, and they are going to be able to go into battle phase, and it is a hop, skip, and a jump to lethal with a Madame Vare in hand. They're going to Patori. They're going to add a bunch of things to the hand. There is the Holiday. There's the By Street, and that is all the damage that they need in the world. We were so close to victory. Let's try something different. Surely this time right? Surely this time we took out the Desk Koalas, we put in Necrovalleys, we put in Puppet Plants to steal their Heine's to basically be a burn spell. We added in 3 copies of Curse of Darkness, which deals 1,000 to a player every time they activate a spell card, and we have a bunch of continuous spell cards, but if we're going second, we're going to use them all up, and that's not going to matter. We added 3 DD Dynamite. This does burn damage for every card they banish. Surely, this will do the trick, right? I would do something different, but this burn seems so close that I keep wanting to try. I keep wanting to get there. We are so goddamn close. Well, faith has returned for the borgarbot voters. When I asked, is 3rd time the charm, they said, sure, why not? And you know what? We take that kind of optimism, because if not, I have another deck to try. And this seems so close. It's so close. I am so deep in the sunk cost fallacy right now. We are so close to getting this one. One more match. One more match can do it, right? Let the games begin. All right, we started off with the dub and the rock, paper, scissors. We have never gone first before. Why would we go first now? We've done it. Dark Room of Nightmare, Corridor of Agony, a phenomenal start to the game. 2 sets. There's a secret barrel. Does 1,200 damage. What is the other one? Dark Room of Nightmare going to deal 300. Now, Corridor of Agony is going to be phenomenal if they can go into the high name. Oh, the DD Dynamite Enchained to the Extrav to deal 1,800 is spectacular. They're going to Shmeta. Now, Patore won't be able to activate its effect or attack. They're going to Shmeta, send a card from the deck to the graveyard, and now they just can't do anything for a while. This is a great start. We're doing phenomenally. Now, I would love to see a Curse of Darkness in the hand. There are 2 trap cards. There's a Curse of Darkness. The other is Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. We have the lockdown for them. There's the Extrav. They're going to deal 1,000 to themselves here and draw 2 cards. We're going to Corridor of Agony for another 300. Shmeta's going to activate, summon the Jenny. Shmeta is going to send from the deck to the graveyard. Do they have another spell to activate? They have 2 back row to activate, but are any of them spells? They're going to add 2 cards from the deck, from the grave to the hand. Those should both be spells. They're going to draw for turn. Will they activate the spells necessary to kill them? They're going to go for Jenny. Jenny's effect is going to activate. They're going to summon Shmeta. Shmeta is negated. There's the Creation. Creation's going to deal 1,300 to them. That's another 1,300 we don't have to worry about. There goes the Dark Room of Nightmare for the extra 300. Can we get one more burn card in our inventory? We're going to draw for turn. We're going to pass the turn. Those must be 2 End of Anubis at this rate. They're going to go for a Patore. Patore is going to activate. It's going to summon out another guy, and Patore is going to do nothing. They're going to add to hand. There's the Creation. That's another 1,300 down. Just one more burn spell from us, or one more any spell from them. What's it going to be? They're going to go to battle phase. They have nothing to attack with. They're going to add from graveyard to hand. It's our turn. We're going to draw for turn. Witchcrafter Masterpiece is going to add back Extrav. Extrav is going to activate next turn. We may have just done it. They're going to draw for turn. Are they going to start by firing the Extrav? They will, and that's the game. We have done it in game 1. Let's go. Let's go. We love to see it. The Curse of Darkness really pulling its weight this game. But we've been in this position before. Game 1 was a resounding victory. But can we pull it through games 2 and 3? All right, are we going first? No, they're going to activate Shmeta. They're going to activate Shmeta with Buy Street on board. They're going to discard Called by the Grave. An unfortunate discard because that card would have been great for us if they had it in their hand. They're going to add Holiday back to their hand. We're going to draw for turn. What are we going to have? Please don't start with the Corridor of Agony. We did not start with the Corridor of Agony. There goes the Chain Energy. We're going to Puppet Plant away the Heine. Heine is very strong as a burn spell for us. We're going to go into battle phase and deal 2,400. We're going to start with a Secret Barrel. That's a lot of damage back to them, especially with the Dark Room of Nightmare. They're going to destroy, they're going to destroy the Swordswoman. Would have been an ideal thing for us to get. They're going to go into Almirage to deal us 0. Are they out of Witchcrafter spells? Well, they aren't anymore. We're going to draw for turn. They're going to go for Almirage. They're going to sack it off to make the Heine invincible this turn. We're going to draw for turn. We're going to go for Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. Unfortunately, Shadow Imprisoning Mirror is going to get Heine. We really need something like a DD Dynamite at this point. They're going to go for a Reasoning. Reasoning is going to not hit. They're going to go for 2,400. Can we draw into a Puppet Plant? If we can draw into a puppet plant, we may have done it for ourselves. We're going to set a back row. What's this back row going to be? Please not a continuous. Ooh, it is a continuous. That's not good for us. We just need them to not have a monster. They didn't have a monster. We get another turn. Again, a monster that steals a monster would be great. They're going to go for the Madame Vare. Madame Vare is actually a little bit of a problem because it means that Puppet Plant is no longer a victory for us. They're going to go Curse of Darkness. They're going to go Haine, and that's going to get destroyed. Not having had the Shadow Mirror and the Corridor of Agony is going to lose us game 2. It's down to the wire. It's down to game 3 once again. Can we pull it through? Hopefully we're going first. One more time. Can we open with the Corridor of Agony? Can we open with the Curse of Darkness? No, they're going first. Why are they going first? How do they get a going first? They won. Why do they get to go first again? That grass goes green. Oh no, this is disastrous. Grass is going to add everything back to their hand during the end phase, and that Magician's right hand is going to deal with anything Haine doesn't. This is absolutely catastrophic in every way it could have been. Fortunately, the Dark Room of Nightmare is going to eat the negate. They're going to go for the big Chica. We're going to use Haine to destroy the big Chica. That's going to eat the Imperm. Unfortunately, we cannot Haine anymore, and they're going to get it back. Now, there are things that we can do. Royal Oppression will help because it will eat one of their cards. They are going to destroy the Royal Oppression, but we don't have the Shadow Mirror. There's the Secret Barrel, and oh no, that's everything out of us. Absolutely everything taken, and they had the Imperm to block the only out that we had for this situation. We're going to draw for turn. There isn't really anything that saves us at this point, unfortunately. We gave them the go first, and they ran with it. There is literally nothing that can get us back into this game with the Vare on the board. Why did borgarbot let them go first? We were in such good shape if we went first. How did we give it to them every time? I'm so mad. This deck was good. It was a strong contender, but we just handed it to them. We handed them the go first with a grass in hand. I can't keep forcing this burn deck. I can't do it. We have to try something else. It's been pointed out to me that in those matches, we went first once out of 9 games. It turns out that borgarbot chooses a true 50-50 as to whether or not it goes first, and Witchcrafter will always choose to go first. But we do have a deck that chooses to go second, and it's a double special called Pick a God and Pray to It, and that's really what we're going to have to do. We are going to have to pray that we go second. This deck does fairly well doing so. It's very good at stealing their monsters and tributing them off. The instant fusion line gives us options to burn off the Haine before it can kill something like our Corridor of Agony or Necro Valley, and we've got 3 copies of Monster Reborn to get us extra monsters onto the board. Effectively, the floodgates are here to lock them down while we tribute off their monsters for big guys. If we're going second, and we should be, this deck has a very decent chance against the Witchcrafters. Doubl, take the wheel. Well, the smart money is on this match being 100% cope. We've never been able to come close to beating the Witchcrafters in a best of 3. We're doing a lot better than we ever did before. 5Ds has given us an incredible number of tools for us to work with, and maybe this time it'll work. Maybe Doubl's miraculous powers will pull us through for our last match of the 5Ds era before we enter Zexal, which, by the way, I just want to say, also has some great burn tools. The chances are never in our favor in the Witchcrafter matchup, but they've been against us before in other matchups. Let the games begin. All right, starting off with a hard-fought dub in the rock, paper, scissors, borgarbot is going to flip a coin and choose who wins, and it's going to choose to lose itself. No, the one time we just randomly get to go first. Fortunately, we opened with the Frostosaurus, Necrovalley, Corridor of Agony, and Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. This is the set of floodgates that if anything is going to get us through this, it's going to be this one. You know, if we were going to lose that 50-50, this was the way for us to lose it. We're going to normal some of the Fabled Kushano and just start getting in. Let's just get some damage going, and we're going to go to the end phase. Okay, all right. I've seen worse starts. Schmed is going to activate its effect. It's going to summon out Madame Vare. Madame Vare is going to get negated, and it won't be able to attack. We're going to draw for turn because their monster or their spell cards are going to get negated from the graveyard. We're going to Snatch Steal away the Vare and tribute summon the Skull Archfiend of Lightning. Is this game on board? Not quite. They have 100 left, but I can't imagine there's anything that they have left that can beat this. Reasoning is going to summon from deck no matter what they get. They got the Piatore, but it's not going to activate its effect. We're going to draw for turn, and that summon skull is going to deal us 500, but it doesn't matter when we're going to deal them 16 back. If I had to believe in luck, getting the perfect opening hand for going first against this deck when this deck really needs to go second couldn't have been much better. Can we pull it through in game 2? All right, opening first. They're definitely going first this time because they got the L. They're going to go Extrav. That's going to let them draw 2. They're going to go Jenny. Jenny's going to discard for Heine. They're going to set 2 back row, and they're going to pass. They didn't really get many Witchcrafter spells off this time. The Corridor of Agony is going to get negated. Did we get a second one? A Snatch Steal is better than a second Corridor of Agony because we can start killing their stuff. They're going to Imperm away on the Heine, but that's perfectly fine. We're going to deal them 2,400 back. There's the Summon Skull. I kind of would have liked to have kept the Heine for now, but that does keep them from getting 1,000 back during their turn. Necrovalley also prevents them from activating spell cards in graveyard. We're going to set a back row and attack in for another 2,500. We just have to do that twice more or summon one monster. There's the Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. That means a second Heine won't activate. Can we draw a monster off the top? They're going to Max C. We're going to go to battle phase and we're going to deal 2,500. That's 500. We are 500 away. We are 500 away from Doubl's creation pulling us through. The Gozen match keeps them off the board. Summon Skull is still here. 2,500 direct. We did it. Double's miraculous deck has finally done it. And at the end of 5Ds, we have beaten one of the greatest menaces this series has ever seen before. 2 miracles in a row was enough to have done it. And going into the Zexal era, we can finally move away from the Witchcrafters and onto the Trickstars, the next deck up the ladder. We have so much more ahead. I've already got so many ideas for what to do with the remainder of the Zexal era. We've got so many cool rules, so many calamities, so many blessings, so many banned cards to unban and vice versa. I can't wait to see you then. Go forward in humble confidence, my friends, and I will see you in the future. Doubl, I always want to see the French lose.